In Michigan, the poll shows Harris beating Trump by 11 points, but losing to Trump by 4 points in Pennsylvania. Obviously, these are different states, but that is a massive sort of swing. What do you think accounts for that? Do you have a theory?
Yeah. I mean, remember, polling is like a sketch. It's not a photograph, right? It's a little sketch into a window in time, and sometimes the polls get it right, and sometimes they don't. And so I think what we've seen, there's been a lot of polling this week, and there was a lot of polling last week. And what we saw last week was that Harris kind of caught up, and it became an even race. This week, the balance of national polls show her ahead by a little bit. Like things got a little bit better this week than even last week. And in the two battleground polls that were done, in addition to the one you cited, there was a public opinion strategies poll of 5 of the states. And in the two polls combined, she's ahead in at least one of them, in Nevada and Arizona and Michigan and Pennsylvania and Wisconsin. And she's close in Georgia and North Carolina. And so the map has gotten much better for us. The national polling has gotten better. The map's gotten better. And in that Republican poll that was released today, she's ahead in Pennsylvania by 3 points, right? So I think the way to think about it, it's a close competitive election. I think we've got a slight advantage. And then we're likely to pick up more and gain as we pick a VP and go through our convention in the coming weeks. So I would much rather be us than them today.
So some very interesting things in that clip right there. Harris is polling well nationally, but of course that doesn't matter. The Democrat has won 7 of the last 8 popular votes, but of course they have not won 7 of the last 8 presidential elections. She is now the betting market's favourite to win the popular vote, but she is still a 60-40 underdog in the Electoral College, which is crazy to think about. However, I think after 2016, after what happened there was some complacency. A lot of places were saying Clinton had a 90% chance of winning. And of course, we all know what happened. Trump ended up winning. So I don't think we're going to see the same complacency as in 2016. Harris is doing great pretty much by being like a normal person with a functioning brain, which is a rare thing these days, which is crazy to think. But she's getting huge support. She's not, let's face it, she's not Obama level, Clinton level charisma. She's not anything like that. I think against if other Democrats in an open primary, she would be struggling. But that's not where she is right now. She is in a head-to-head contest against so a guy who just literally cannot stop putting his shoe in his mouth. He is just tripping up over and over again. Trump has made several mistakes. And the weird, well, not really the weird thing, but I guess in some ways the predictable thing is now that Trump, the more that he feels the pressure that Harris is making up ground in the swing states, she's now within a point up or down, but certainly within the margin of error in lots of states like Nevada, Arizona, Wisconsin, where Trump had a 4, 5, 6 point lead over Biden just a couple of weeks ago, which is being completely erased. The most important thing is that the polls are heading in the right direction for Harris. Of course, people are saying this is her honeymoon period, that this won't last. But the thing is that the DNC hasn't even happened yet. And traditionally, it didn't happen with Trump this year because, well, I think everyone, let's face it, in the entire world has a view on Trump, and it's not going to shift. But for most candidates, and this will be Harris included, because even though people know her as the vice president and they have 1 or 2 things that they think about her, they don't really know her anywhere near the level that they have an opinion on Trump or they had an opinion on Biden. So I do believe that when the DNC comes around, that is going to give her a 3 to 5 point polling bump over where she is now. And I think Trump and his team knows that. That's why Trump is floundering. He's trying to throw everything he can at Kamala. It's not his best work. I mean, it's not his best work. Calling her a DEI savior, low IQ Kamala. I mean, it's not sticking because it's not true. And I mean, that DEI shit is just super ugly. It's just, it turns off so many voters because what you're really saying is, okay, yeah, she's a black person and you don't think she should be here for that reason. Was part of the reason she was picked as Biden's presidential running mate because of her race? Sure, but that's true of every vice presidential candidate. It was true of Biden when Obama picked him. It was true, Trump picking Pence because he wanted someone who was a bit more stable. And we see how when he decided to go against that wisdom, we see where he's going with JD Vance. So that stuff is not sticking, especially when she seems a lot more competent in comparison to Trump, who was just seeming even more unhinged, going back to the 2016 levels of unhinged. And one very positive thing, and I think this is going to be one of the narratives that really hurts Trump and sticks with them for the entire rest of the campaign trail, is this whole weird thing. And the reason why it's gaining traction, Harris and all the VP, all the white guys who are basically lining up to be VPs, they're all kind of pointing out Trump and other Republicans' weird shit. And the reason it's gaining traction is because it's actually fucking true. So much of the shit they say, JD Vance calling everyone, saying that cat ladies run the world and that people who are single should pay less tax than people who are married, it's just very fucking weird. Trump going out there and speaking to a room full of the best black journalists in America and saying, oh, well, Kamala, she just turned black now that it's convenient. It's fucking weird. And it's not like, and I think it's only as Trump gets more desperate, as these polls start to swing even more in Kamala's favor. And I do think that they will stabilize. But again, at the end of August, heading into September, that DNC, when she does get a bump there, as I believe she will, Trump is going to get even more desperate because things are kind of lined up perfectly. Kamala can just kind of continue doing what she's doing, get a bump from the DNC, and then, of course, there is that debate coming in September, which, I mean, if I was Trump, if I was on his team, I would be absolutely shitting it. It's one thing to be able to win a debate against Biden, who literally was completely stumbling over his sentences and didn't seem to know where he was. And Trump, he won, but did he convincingly win? I don't think he convincingly won. Biden lost that debate. So when he's up against somebody who actually has a functioning brain, has, of course, some, things being held against her in terms of the immigration, calling her the borders are. But at the end of the day, she's got a bit of an ace up her sleeve for that as well, because she tried to get a bill passed to curb illegal immigration, and Trump was the one who convinced Republicans to shoot it down, even though a bunch of Republicans were on board before that. He wanted it shot down because he didn't want progress being made in terms of immigration. He wanted the situation looking as bad as possible heading into this election. But when she's on a debate stage and she can say that, and people who support Trump or independents are going to be hearing that, it's looking very bad for Trump. So it's not a surprise that she's making a lot of progress in the polls. And as long as she doesn't drop the ball in some massive way, it's probably going to keep heading this way. Of course, it's not just going to be straight, up and to the right. There are going to be some ups and downs, as any campaign has. But yeah, things are looking very good for Kamala at the moment. And let me know your thoughts below. What do you expect to happen next? And also subscribe, because I'm going to be doing a little bit more coverage of this election over the next few weeks. So if you enjoyed the video, also drop a like. See ya.